All right, Shani, what makes you feel the most vulnerable?
So this is going to be really shallow, but it's just really the truth. And it's if my hair is not done. That's all that matters is if my hair, oh, wait, one more thing. And if my melasma is bad. If my melasma is bad and my hair is not good, but actually hair over even the melasma because I have to have good hair every day, every single day.
Woo! It's like we're pros. I hope you can't see all my cat hair on my black pants because I've literally like scraped my body and the couch and every inch of this living room from cat hair and I still see it everywhere. Um this is this is this is exciting. This is going to be my first episode filming solo, and it's a lot of different emotions at once, but I'm feeling just really excited, especially for this guest. I've been such an admirer of Shani Darden for so many years. Her skincare line is incredible, but her as a person is so incredible. The way she shares herself on her socials it's always stood out to me, and I feel like she'd be the perfect guest for this podcast. So I just thought, who better than to have Shani on for, my first episode doing this. And also in the room, my bestie Brandon, who everyone has seen literally on this podcast. Come in. I forget what episode number you were in season 1.
Oh, I feel like I should know that.
No, because it doesn't even say on the thing. But I'm just so excited to have you here and be running production for this. And so much about this podcast, and I know you know this, and I hope people feel this, is the energy that is in this room when we're filming, because we like to go deep. And it's so important that the people who are in the space can create that kind of environment for our guests, and not only create it, but feed into it. And you do that so beautifully. And I'm just so happy you're here.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always about synchronicity with cast and crew and everything we do. It's about everyone and all the parts that they play in our lives.
Yeah, you're just perfect. When I was thinking about how the hell I was gonna throw this all together, I was like, Brandon will give me such peace. Of course.
That's my job today.
Have you met Shani?
I have not met her in person, no.
No? I'm so excited for you to meet her.
I've tried her skincare, and I've been using her oil-free weightless moisturizer in my kit as a professional makeup artist because it never pills up or gets heavy on the skin. So I'm excited to hear what other tips and tricks she has, or what her story has been from esthetician to brand founder.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I think she has a lot to share too, just about her come up. From what I gather from her socials and kind of how she shares. And she's created this beautiful content talking about her parents, and there's a lot there. And I'm just curious to see where it's going to go, but very excited. I'm just very happy to have the emotional and production support. And we hope you enjoy.
It's going to be a good episode.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, with the puppies and your brand, and life is just lifing, I think, for just about everyone right now. So I'm sure you've got a lot going. So thanks for making the time.
Yes, it is crazy for all of us.
Yeah, it's a wild time to be alive, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone knows that you're an incredible foster dog mom.
I really am.
But if you could tell everyone else just a little bit about yourself and your brand.
I'm Shani Darden, and I'm an esthetician. I've been an esthetician, I think, now for 20 years. And I now have a studio in Beverly Hills where I give facials, and I'm usually there. I work Tuesday through Friday giving facials, and then just always building the brand and, trying to come up with new product ideas. I moved out here when I was, I don't know how old, in my 20s. And I originally moved out here because I got a modeling contract. And once I got here, I realized very quickly that there wasn't a lot of modeling jobs. That's more of like a New York thing, or at least at the time. So I ended up being in a lot of music videos, which is not my journey at all. And so after rolling around in a corset for one too many times, I was like, you know what, we're going to retire. And then I'd always been obsessed with skincare, but it like took me a minute to realize that that's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I went to school to be a massage therapist first, didn't have that like skill at all, and then went to school to be an esthetician, and then like fell in love.
Damn, that's so cool. Is that how you met through your modeling or music videos? Is that how you met Denise Fossey? Is that how you met each other? Because she
No,
said you've
met
known each other
her-
for like 15 years.
I've knew her for just as a client, and I think she just came in as a client. I don't even know if I knew her through someone.
Yeah,
But that's how we know each other.
that's cool. It's
Yeah.
just such a small world. Like, was filming with Denise the other day, and she was like, "Oh, you have Shani coming in," and it's cool to have this space and be able to talk to all the founders at
Yeah.
Sephora, because everyone kind of knows each other. And you bring up one name. I had Margarita on, who used to be the she used to be the chief merchandising lead for Sephora in makeup prior to like Allison Hahn coming on, and she was here talking about Michelle Ronovat. There's just always like
Yeah.
different ties that come
Yeah.
together. It's cool.
It's a big happy family, and everyone's mostly supportive of everyone. So
Yeah.
it's like people help each other out. 'Cause-
It feels that way. Like, I definitely feel like I felt that shift. I've been at Sephora for a little over a decade now, believe it or not. I started in makeup merchandising, then I was on the social media team, and then during the pandemic, through a weird series of events, ended up stepping in front of the camera, which was kind of unexpected. But I just remember seeing the shift when I was on social, like how brands started to talk about
Yeah.
each other more and like collaborate more.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool.
No, it's great. And also, it's just so hard right now being a beauty brand founder. It's so difficult. So it's like, if you can help someone like going through that, because
Yeah.
it's a really challenging time. It's so oversaturated. So it's like,
So competitive.
it's insane. And it seems like it's not really changing. There's just more and more and more and more. So many
I mean, I
brands.
feel it's like literally my job to know all the brands that come into Sephora, and I like can barely keep up.
I
Like,
mean, I'm with you. And it's always something new. So, and everyone wants to have a brand,
yeah.
which is fine, but it's a lot more difficult than people think.
Are you feeling that with like your brands? Just so many more brands coming in?
So much.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
That's got to really. Oh,
is that me?
who's there?
Oh, my daughter.
Oh, do you want to say hi?
No. She calls me about 17 times a day.
Oh
because
my
she is
gosh.
Homeschooled.
Okay.
And so it's like a lot.
It's like a lot.
17 times a day.
I found the other track.
Yeah, just sometimes just to sit on the phone, and I'm like, I just left.
Oh my gosh.
And she likes to call me while I'm in a facial, and I'm like, just remember, like, I can't FaceTime in a facial.
How old is she?
She's 16.
Oh,
She's going back to school next year. Thank you, Jesus. So happy. So happy. It's gonna be so great.
what's her name?
Phoenix. I have
Phoenix.
two kids, Phoenix and Lennon. Lennon goes to school, and she's 12.
12. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You got your hands full.
I really do.
Man, I don't know how you juggle the brand. But what I was thinking, I mean, you have your studio, you have your brand, you have 2 kids, you're fostering dogs. Like,
Couldn't do it without Michael.
impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So yes, it's very difficult. The dog thing is weird. Like, I should chill out. I already have 3 dogs. Like, I don't need to foster another dog. But
I get it,
I
though.
also feel like it's my thing, and like there's not a lot of like that's kind of like where I can give back.
There's something special about animals too, and like the energy that they give you.
Yeah.
It, like, for me, my cats are so, like, for lack of a cheesier term, like healing
Yeah.
every
Also,
day.
people aren't always great.
Yes.
So animals are really, really great.
Yes,
So except
yes.
for when they pee in the house.
Did you have dogs growing up? Like, was
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Because for me, I know, like, I like go to my cats the same way I did as a kid. Like, I feel my parents did their absolute best and they were, working with the tools that they were given, but didn't always know how to deal with my big emotions, my big feelings. And like my cats were my outlet for that. Like when I was feeling overwhelmed or like didn't really feel like I had somewhere to go, it was my cats. Was that like kind of your experience with dogs growing
They
up?
just were always there. When I was growing up, my dad would take people's dogs that were getting abused. We lived in like a really bad neighborhood in Harlem, and he was different, and he would take their dogs from them. So we had a lot of dogs. I remember
I love your
being
dad.
little, and we had a bathtub that was off the floor, and they would all hide out underneath the bathtub because they had been beaten so bad. So I've just always had animals. I know, just always. And then growing up, at one point I had 50 mice, 4 guinea pigs, 3 rabbits.
5-0.
Yeah, and they all got loose one day in the house. 50.
I'm laughing. That was probably like a
50.
horrible experience.
50 mice.
But I'm like visualizing 50 mice running around.
They just had so many animals.
Did you
growing
get
up.
them all back?
I don't remember that.
That's a lot.
It was just so many. They just kept having babies.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I really played with them. It's just one of the many pets that I had. Just so many. We had 2 dogs. Yeah, just all the animals.
Did you have like outdoor space? What kind of?
I had a really nice outdoor space, and we would let the guinea pigs, like we made a pen for them outside that we would hang out with them, but they lived inside. And then some of them we built, because there were so many animals, we built like a whole hut in the garage.
Yeah.
With like heaters and stuff, so they would live in there too.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've always had a lot of animals. Yeah.
Something about the energy around, I feel like helped so much.
Yep. And I had, now I have a turtle, a frog, which I found the frog a home. I haven't told you that yet, Michael. The frog is going because my favorite pet has always been a chameleon.
Okay.
And my chameleon
Yeah,
just
I
passed
remember
away.
hearing you talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I want another chameleon so bad,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, I'm not going to do it if I also have the frog.
Right. Too much.
Because the frog was for my daughter. She needed the frog. And so she promised she was going to take care of the frog if I got it. She's never looked at it. She's never seen it. And so it's just a frog in a cage that I have to hang out with, and I don't want to hang out with the frog. I have zero interest in being around the frog. I don't want to hang out with it. So the frog it's found a beautiful home, and then I'll have space for the chameleon when it's time.
Did you have a chameleon growing up? Is there
No,
like
I had one.
that was just a found love.
I found, some weird thing. Who knows what I was on? I was young when I got the first one. I was probably like under the influence of wine or something. And I got a chameleon at a pet store and fell in love. And then I got a second one. And the thing about me is I don't like animals in like captivity. So,
Yeah.
so the chameleon just would walk
Roams
around.
your home.
Yeah. So I'm ready for another one. It's literally my favorite pet to have.
Interesting.
Yeah. He just walks around in my closet.
I saw you made like a reel or a story or something, and when he passed, passed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so
Oh my
sweet.
God, he was the best, Mister. I loved him so much.
His name was Mister?
The name is terrible. Again,
No, I like it.
it was my daughter wanted a gecko. And I convinced her that geckos suck and that we needed a chameleon because I
Respect.
knew that she wasn't going to like it and then I would have it.
Yeah.
So she named it because it was her pet, but it was always my pet. She never touched it.
That was like my family pet growing up was named Kitty. And my sister said it was her cat. It was never her cat. It was my cat.
Yeah, I get that.
Like,
I
this
get
is my
that.
animal. Yeah, and then I named my first cat I got as an adult Gato. So I took a real far
Oh.
departure from that name.
I like that.
It was like an homage, kind of. I feel like one thing I've seen on your socials a lot that always hits home, and I think is really cool that you share about, is your parents, like them coming and seeing your studio for the
Yeah.
first time. Like I feel like I watched that and like got teary eyed. And it sounds like you had a really interesting upbringing with them.
Yeah.
And your dad sounds really interesting. Like what has been their impact on kind of who you've become?
I mean, an animal lover. So I
Yeah.
would say I don't get to see. So it's my mom and my stepdad.
Oh,
The
your
dad that
stepdad,
I was
okay.
talking about is my real father, the
I
one
see.
that would rescue the animals. But I grew. My mom remarried maybe when I was 7 to my stepfather. So that is my
Gotcha.
dad.
Okay, yes.
I just call him by his name, but he's my dad.
Yeah.
So they've always been very, very supportive. They still live in upstate New York, and it's very far. I also hate it.
hard to be
So I
away.
never go home.
Yeah.
Last time I went was maybe like 5 years ago, but they just came here to visit. So that was
Didn't
awesome.
like your partner, husband, surprise you with
Yes,
them?
that was crazy. So
Yeah.
that was for the opening. That he surprised me and had them come. That was that was one of the few times I've ever really been surprised. That was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Your reaction was like so
Yeah.
genuinely like overwhelmed, but like
Yeah.
emotion and excitement.
Yeah, they're the best. They're super cute, but very far away. Wish they were closer.
I know. I hear you. I spend half of my time in Nashville, and all my family's in San Diego. And when I'm out there, I'm just like, no, this doesn't feel good.
I know.
Got 4 nephews. Like, I need to see them. Absolutely not.
And San Diego's so close.
Yeah, I can get in my car. If
Yeah.
I can get in my car to see someone
Yeah.
that feels like I have like, you know,
For sure, I get that.
but otherwise it feels so far away and it can be kind of hard.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings, any other family out in LA?
Step. So
Okay.
and not here. So stepbrother and 2 stepsisters, and they're Stan's kids.
Okay.
So I'm the only child for my mom.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So and I'm very close with my brother. We talk quite a bit, but no one's here.
I love
Florida,
Florida.
Philadelphia. So I don't get to see them a lot either.
What made you just like fall in love with the West Coast? Did you just get kind of into your career movement and then you're like, okay, I'm here?
Yeah, well, I don't like cold. So I'm not really East Coast. Like I don't like.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'm not a cold person. I don't know that I would necessarily be here if I didn't have my studio. I don't
Yeah.
know that I always love LA that much, but
Yeah,
I
fair
love the
enough.
weather, and I love, it's just like La La Land.
It is like La La
Yeah,
Land.
so it's home for right now. I don't know where home would be next, but probably something a little bit more chill. Like I need a farm and stuff. Like
More
maybe
space.
Santa Barbara. I don't know enough. Like I like to visit it, so I don't really know what's happening over there.
Pretty,
But like,
a little bit cooler, I
Yeah.
feel like, too, which
and
might
also
be
maybe
nice.
you need to also be rich with the farm and stuff. I don't know, but that's where I feel like I would be good. It just depends. I don't know.
I know my fiance Jake and I always joke like, should we just like move to the country and have a cat farm and like
That's what I want. It's just really hard to do facials. You know what I mean? So right now we're here.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So you've had your facial studio now for 18
I don't know.
years?
So I have a time thing. I actually don't know how long I've had that. So
Okay.
I'm going to go with like maybe 7 years, the Beverly Hills studio.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, I worked out of my house
Okay.
on Curson and Melrose.
Got it.
And I worked there for a pretty long time. Again, I don't know. So probably started that studio out of a back office in my house. Probably, I was probably there. I don't even know how long I was there, but
That's okay.
I started it when Lennon was probably a year old. Oh no, she was even younger. And she's 12 now. So I was there and then stayed for a while and then came to.
Damn, you started all of that while you had a under 1-year-old.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of it though, is being able to be at home and like do that and then juggle.
It was much easier to be at home. It got very hectic as they were getting older, having that that space. So I was like, I've got to go.
Yeah.
So
How did you end up going from, I mean, even just for my own inspiration, because I mean, the basis of this podcast is like real, raw, cozy. So I love having people in my home and just having conversations like this. But I was talking to Brandon this morning and I'm like, one day it'd be really nice. I'll have a, full production team, full setup and just walk into a different space. And, it's like, how did you make that transition? Like, you're so well known. You have such an incredible clientele. Like, how did that start to build for you?
My career really took off when I started doing facials from my house. And it happened, honestly, it's like seeing
That's so
one
cool.
celebrity and that celebrity
Like word of mouth.
puts you in a magazine, and then people start coming to you, and then, people would see, because, my background is really acne, because I originally started working for a dermatologist. So
Okay.
that's all I did was take care of like all ages, people with acne. So, I'd help, like somebody would send me a model with really bad skin and I'd fix her skin, and then they'd send me another person. So that's kind of where it started, and it just it grew very, very fast.
I didn't know acne was where you started actually, but that's kind of not ironic, but perfect because my adult acne came back recently and was raging, and one of the things that helped me was using your retinol.
Well, you have to come in and get a facial.
I would love nothing more.
Yes.
Maisha, my co-beauty
Yes, you
director,
have
has
to.
told me
What are you
how
doing?
incredible. Well, we chatted at the 15%
Yeah.
pledge event, and then I think we DM'd each other, and now we have each other's emails. So I think
no,
it fell
come
off.
in.
But
Come
I would
in.
love nothing more than
No.
to come in and
Yes.
be blessed by
No,
your.
no, for sure you've got to come in.
Thank you.
That's how I started with everything. I would do acne treatments at Dr. Benitez's office, and she taught me everything, and it was all ages. And I fell in love with retinol because most people were on a retinol, even like teens. So that's where I fell in love with it, and also like what it can do for anti-aging. So that's what I do.
It kind of feels like it's like that one constant that everyone's
It
like, you
is.
got to have retinol in
You
your
really
routine.
do.
I know you saw it, but I was in store with Emma Hughes from Who What Wear, and we were talking about your retinol for like 30 minutes, and we're like, okay, we have to film the rest of this content. But like literally every beauty director uses it. I feel like anytime we have like a Q&A or like a live Q&A with clients, or we're doing like a must-haves video, it always comes up.
Oh,
Like
that
it's
makes me
just
happy.
you hear. I feel like we think retinol at Sephora and we think Shani Darden. Like it's
Oh, I
just
love that.
That's been my
I
experience
love
with
that.
it.
When I made the retinol reform, it came at a really good time. And I wasn't really totally aware of what a good time it was, but there were no retinols. There
Yeah.
was like SkinCeuticals. And now obviously it's sort of like you can't have a beauty brand or a skincare brand without having a retinol.
Or at least a
almost.
form of it.
Yeah.
It does feel that
Yeah.
way. Well, starting with acne must have been really interesting. I feel like acne is the most emotionally charged skin
Yeah.
concern. I know we've talked about it on this podcast quite a bit. For me growing up, and I didn't have like raging acne. Like a lot of my friends will be like, Melinda, your acne wasn't that
Not bad.
bad. But to me, it was devastating.
Yeah.
And I would get so fixated on it. And it was deep and like hormonal. And even though it wasn't all over, as soon as one of them healed, I'd maybe have like a couple days before the next one
Right.
came back. And I just remember being like too young, sitting in my bedroom, trying to cover up my makeup or trying to cover up my acne with my makeup, and just breaking down and
Yeah.
like giving up, and then not wanting to go out and see my friends, and just being like sitting in that defeat. And we've had a couple like Sephora Squad members, they specifically talk about acne and acne on their channels, and it's emotional.
Yeah. I would say what's great about nowadays is that so many teens embrace it now.
Yeah, I
With
agree.
all the stickers, and half the time they aren't even broken out, and they're wearing the little star stickers. And so I think that that's really great, because I remember growing up when I was struggling with it. It was just like I wouldn't even want to go to school.
Well, we had no visual representation
Yeah.
of real skin because there wasn't social media. Granted, most social media isn't real skin either
Right.
necessarily, but like we're looking at magazines, billboards, advertisements, they're all photoshopped.
Yep.
Like, gosh, it's only been a matter of a few years, it feels like, since beauty brands stopped like over retouching
Yes, for sure.
their visuals. So, I mean, that's really nice to see. But you're right. I think Gen Z looks at all of us like, what is wrong with you
No,
people?
it's great. It's so great. I love it because even my youngest, struggles with breakouts because it's such a struggle to get her to take care of her skin, but it doesn't bother her. It's very rare.
I love that
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to
Yeah.
hear. My sister was telling me she does nonprofit fundraising and started a newer job recently, and she went into one of their meetings, and one of like the Gen Z interns got up and presented, and they had like star stickers on
Yep.
her face, and my sister was texting me like, this is so badass. Like, I would have never
I
had the
know. It's
confidence
great.
to get up and just be like, yeah, who cares?
No, they love it.
It's
They
so
love the
badass.
stickers. They love the stickers.
Gosh, I wish the stickers existed sooner. The first time I went on camera for Sephora was when I used to manage our YouTube and like run our video program for social media. And so I was always behind the camera, but occasionally a model wouldn't show up. But more so when we wanted to film like a problem solution video, which was like such a focus for so long, problem solution. We couldn't find a model that was willing to go on camera with the quote unquote problem, which I hate
sure.
even calling it that. But so we couldn't find a model that would come on with acne. And at that time, I was still breaking out pretty significantly in my eyes, but enough to go on camera and like have one of our beauty directors cover it up and do a
Yeah.
tutorial around it. So the first time I went on camera for Sephora was barefaced with acne.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
just like, well, I'm like just throwing the door
That's
open.
great, though. That's so great.
It was a huge, for me, it was so exciting to be able to step in and like create a solution for our team, and also be on camera for Sephora was exciting for the first time, but I was terrified because of my skin at the same time. But in retrospect, I see now like it was more about for me than it was for anything else.
Yep.
Because after that, something kind of shifted in me, and I was like, oh, I don't care. Like,
Right.
which needed to happen. I had no idea I was going to become a beauty director for Sephora, but God, that needed to happen, because once I became a beauty director and I was not behind the camera, I had no access to the footage or the edits
Right.
or the shots they choose.
Yep.
So I have released everything.
Yep.
Like whenever anyone takes a photo or a video and they're like, oh, is it okay if I post this? Or do you want to look through them? I'm
You're
just
like,
I
all
sold
you.
I sold my whole self
Yep.
a long time ago.
That's good, though. That's really great for people to see, though.
I think I don't know. I'm just really grateful for it. It kind of goes hand in hand with my like verbal vomit that I do. I'm a bit of a TMI person, as my mom was, which is something that I love about myself and loved about her. But yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with just being comfortable on camera, and
Yeah.
it feels nice.
It takes a while to get there, but then you just give into it.
It was probably natural transition for you because you went from modeling and music videos.
Oh, no, I hate talking about myself. And
Okay. So you can be on camera, but the talking part.
I just got used to it.
Okay.
I just got used to
You
it.
seem so comfortable.
I'm comfortable now, but I just gave into it, for the
Yeah.
longest time. Like when Instagram started, I was like, I'm never doing all of that. Cut to like, I'm like running through alleys doing weird TikToks now. So it's like, fine. It is what it is.
Your sense of humor is so good because it's very subtle.
I mean, I'm unhinged in a lot of ways.
One of my
fine.
favorite videos I think that you've posted was you and your friend, and she was just like, it was one of like the TikTok trend sounds, and you were like, it was something around like, I don't even like eye creams, but I made an eye cream for my.
I just say a lot of crazy shit.
It's so
Just
good.
who I am.
But that's badass. Like, it's nice to see a founder. Not that there aren't more like that, but like it's nice to see a founder or business owner be so like, yeah.
I mean, it's not great for sales, but it's definitely just who I am. You just have to be who you are. I think that's the most important thing.
I think it's more authentic. It makes me want to use your eye cream more, even
Oh,
if eye cream is
I
not
love
like
that.
one of your favorite skincare products.
It's not. I think most of them are pretty dumb. I think most of them are just moisturizer. But when I made mine, I wouldn't have put it out if we weren't able to get it right.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. And I don't use eye cream all the time. I'm not. Somebody on my sales team said, please don't say that anymore. But I don't use it all the time. And whenever I use it, I'm like, what the fuck that I made? This is gorgeous. This
Hell
is
yeah.
such a good eye cream. And you can use it on your eyelids and it decreases dark circles. It's a really good one.
Well, I will vouch for that because I have the same feeling about eye cream, which I'll say this on my podcast, and Sephora is probably the same way. Like, don't say no, I'm just kidding. But I haven't found an eye cream that I'm like, oh my God. And it's one of the biggest questions I get from clients, from friends, from family is like, what can I do about my eyes? What can I do about my
Right.
eyes? And your eye cream is the shit.
Oh my God, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. Things are very gimmicky now. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many things out there. And I think because so many young people are using all the skincare products now, they don't necessarily know. It's more like, does it look cool? Is it whatever color? You know what I mean?
Did it blow up on TikTok?
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I know.
You know what I
feel
mean?
like TikTok was like, I don't know if it still is, but definitely for a moment there was like peaking on like basically driving sales for the entire beauty industry.
Oh, 100%.
Nuts.
I think maybe still.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See what happens with TikTok. I feel like there's still this like question mark
I
around.
don't know. I don't know. I felt like things were going to change, but I think they're even more so. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that,
I was talking to Brandon this morning. I meet with a social agency that Sephora works with on a quarterly basis, and they were telling me a lot of people are moving from TikTok to YouTube Shorts.
I've heard that. I don't know how any part of that or understand, but I do know that this is true.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it means, but I know that someone on my team does. But I don't even know what a YouTube short is, but I heard they're important.
That's goals.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
That is my goals. I'm like, I somehow built my entire career around social media, and it is like one of my least favorite things.
Yeah, it's all really. I mean, my whole life is watching TikTok, but I don't. It's because that's like TV for me now.
Gotcha,
But
yeah.
I'm not like on TikTok doing.
Creating.
The TikToks because I'm asked to do the TikToks.
Yeah, your team is like, we got an idea.
Here's 5 TikToks,
Yeah.
but I've never I don't watch my TikToks.
Yeah, I feel you.
Or I would die. I still love Instagram.
Yeah, I still love Instagram.
But like my news is like I can watch almost a show on TikTok at this point.
I don't know what it is, like something, it probably because it did become, like it was my entire career before I became a beauty director, so it becomes less fun. It feels more like work, I suppose. And then also just the impacts on like mental health. I think it messes with me a little bit after a while.
Oh, for sure.
Do you feel that?
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible for kids, but like it's just not going to go away.
It's so addicting.
It's just not going away.
Do you set any boundaries for yourself?
No, because that's my TV. I don't watch TV.
Yeah,
so
fair
it's
enough.
like
That's your entertainment.
this morning at 3 a.m. when I got up, which is also unhinged, but I know, I watched all the pieces from Southern Charm that I had missed. So now I don't have to watch the show. Like
On
I have
TikTok.
everything that I needed to know. You know
That's
what I mean? I'm like,
amazing.
good. So I just get all of that. Like I don't have to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't have to watch the reunion because I got all the pieces. That's it.
Hey.
And then I
whatever-
buy everything from TikTok Shop. Everything.
When they started to do the shopping feature on TikTok, I think everyone kind of went down.
I buy everything. I just bought some Dubai chocolate the other day. I bought weird little things for your hangers, like you name it. It's just TikTok Shop.
Oh my gosh. That's
I know.
So funny.
It's kind of great.
Do you have a presence for your brand on TikTok?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah, I actually don't really go on TikTok anymore. I started like posting for the podcast on there. I used to post my personal platform on there, and then it just kind of like fizzled. I thought that it was going to go when they took it away or whatever, and then it came back.
Such a lie. I can't believe you fell for that.
I
Like
know.
everybody else. Everyone was crying. I was like, guys, it's not, are you okay?
Well, I
Yeah.
was kind of excited not to, like, I feel
No. I was excited because
like-
I don't want to do any more TikTok.
less platforms,
But-
less to juggle.
But like, really, do you know how much money that drives? You really think that was
Yeah.
going to be taken away?
Yeah.
No,
I think I was just like falsely hopeful.
no.
Like, oh,
They
they'll
want
be like-
everyone to be mental and spend so much money. Like, no way were they taking that away.
and it's so much more addictive, I think, than
So great.
Instagram.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Your eyes are just like,
Yeah, so bad for kids. Because the problem is if you have anxiety, what takes you away from your anxiety is your phone.
Yeah.
It's making your anxiety worse, but that's what helps you. So like if I'm in an elevator, because I don't like elevators or walking, leaving my house or flying or driving, if I can go in my phone, then I'm just scrolling to meaningless shit that's keeping my brain off of it. Now it's making it completely worse. But I watch my daughter do it too.
Yep.
Like that's where she's hiding in TikTok.
Yeah,
Well, she's not on TikTok, but she hides through her like YouTube and whatever she's.
Well, yeah, you see like a lot of younger kids out and they're all just like facing their
Yes,
phone.
because
It's like social anxiety
right,
and
because
all
they're
the things.
freaking out internally.
But then it's like feeding into it
Yes.
as well and then like making it worse. It's like a
Yes.
sick cycle. I know I'm pretty passionate about mental health as it relates to social media, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. Our Surgeon General is like trying to create basically like a warning the same way a cigarette pack has for like social media. Is that going to do anything? I don't know, but at least a little more awareness.
I don't think you can make it go away is the problem.
No.
And who is that guy I love him so much. This guy, Gary, what's his name? I don't know who he is, but I watch him all the time and he's almost like a motivational speaker.
Okay.
But he talks all the time about like, there's nothing you can do. Now
Yeah.
you have to teach your kids like how to navigate it, but like this is the world we're in. It's not going away.
Yeah.
So I can sit back and be like, this is terrible. That's the life that they're going to live. Like I can hold it back as much as I can, but they're going to find it in school. Like, you know, my oldest is mature enough that she is allowed to go on TikTok because she won't. My youngest I'm like, no, it's going to make you more anxious. But like at some point.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
get
at
it
least
out.
I feel like it's like just the awareness of it. Like if you're
Yeah.
talking about, you're like, this is going to make your anxiety worse. Like I do feel like the younger generations have an understanding of that. And I kind of have this feeling, which you might disagree with me because I was also the false hopeful about
Yep.
TikTok, but like I kind of have this feeling that trends are cyclical, right? And like the use of social media has become part of our lifestyle, but could also kind of be considered a trend as technology changes and it shifts potentially into something else. And I heard this guy talking about trend forecasting around like economic, political, like all these things. And he was talking about the younger generations going analog for a while because like that would be cool because that would be like 90s, you know, like it has like this like old school feeling. And it's interesting, like Millie Bobby Brown, who has, I think, something like 60 something million followers on Instagram. She doesn't go on Instagram. Like her team runs it. They ask her for a video, she'll film it, but she's like, I don't access my account. I don't scroll. I don't go on. And she talks about that. And I'm like, if she's like one of the most followed like Gen Zers, I would imagine that would have an influence at a certain point. Selena Gomez talks about it a lot.
I think, yes, but I think it's very rare. I think there's
Yeah.
some of them. Like, I also think people that are like very serious in their craft of like Emma Stone, it's not on Instagram and she's never going to go on it.
Right.
Kristen Stewart probably has never looked at it once, but they're like, that's just not,
Their vibe.
no, they're
Yeah.
like
They're
serious.
true artistes.
Yeah. But I think that's rare.
Yeah, I know. It's rare. It's my hope. It's my hopeful thinking.
Yeah. I don't
want it to go away completely because there's so many good things
Yeah.
about it. Like obviously people's ability to create their own businesses.
Yeah.
Inclusivity, like just
Yeah.
diversity in general. So many more faces for young people to look at and see
Yes.
themselves in. Like there's so many positives. I just like boundaries. But that's
sorry.
no. I mean I appreciate it. I don't disagree with you.
I mean, listen, I'm with you on all of it. And
Yeah,
I
of
do think
course.
there's so much good about it, like, obviously. But it's also tricky and hard and
Yeah.
all of those things.
Do your kids' schools allow it still? Or one of them's homeschool, one of them's
She's
going back?
homeschool.
'Cause
I
know
don't
a lot
know.
of
They're
LA
both
County schools took them out of they're like putting them in cases and stuff.
most schools you can't have your phone.
Yeah, somewhat new,
I
right?
think
Like
you
this
can
year.
have them in between classes. But the other thing is too is my thing is I got my kids' phones very early and I firmly believe that your kid needs to have a phone and because there's so many crazy things that happen
Oh my
now,
God, for
and I
safety
want to,
purposes, yeah,
I
I hear
want my
that.
kids to have a phone.
Yeah.
My daughter has an iWatch. Is that what it's called? An iWatch? What's it called? Apple Watch. What's
I
an
was like,
I?
I don't know.
What iWatch is iPad.
That would make sense, like an
Yeah,
iPhone.
Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Apple Watch. I keep calling it. Ooh.
I would have believed you, actually.
Yeah, it's an Apple Watch.
Okay.
So she has an Apple Watch because her anxiety is so bad and they're not allowed to have their phone in the classroom.
Okay.
And so we asked the school, we said she has to
Yeah.
have it. And they said as long as she's not on it.
Yeah.
So she'll get up if she's having a panic attack and go to the bathroom and she'll text me and say,
Yeah.
am I okay? Or whatever.
Aw.
So I think it's important for them to have that. Also, like if there's an earthquake or something, not that
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I want to
hear
know
you.
what's going on, or if there's crazy shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that they have that.
I feel like if I had a kid, they would for sure have a tracker on them.
Yeah, it's like important. I just would want that. If anything went down, I would want her to be able to text me.
Yeah, especially if she has anxiety already as
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's just
Has she always had anxiety?
no. It was like COVID.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Hey, COVID did a number on us all.
yeah.
I didn't recognize the amount of anxiety I had coming out of it. And then it was just a shit show. My grandma was dying towards the end of, she's old age. She was ready to go, but just, really sad towards the end of the pandemic. It was still kind of like travel restrictions. 2 of my siblings have kids, so they couldn't come. And then me and my other sister, who do not have kids, went out there. And I remember going to the airport, getting on the plane, and it was just so overwhelming.
Sure.
And the second time I went to the airport after that, my fiance was driving, and I had to lay down flat in the back of the car because I was having an anxiety attack on the way to the airport. And I was just like, what is going on? We went into a lounge. Like once people started to travel a lot, again, it got super busy because everyone went at once. And we were in a lounge, I think it was around the holidays too, thinking that it was going to be like more quiet. And it was so many people. I just like broke down, started to like sob. And I was just like, I don't know what is happening.
No. We're all not unwell probably from it, but we just kept it moving. I feel like.
Yeah,
So,
just like threw ourselves back into it. But it took me a minute to recognize like how hard it hit.
yeah.
I think that it took a minute for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think for all of the kids that went through it, I can't imagine.
I know, younger age too. It's just such
Yeah.
a shift in the way that you're brought up. And
Yep.
it's weird to think about. It feels like another lifetime.
I know, it
honestly.
does. It does. Although I really did like staying in my house.
That must have been really strange for you not to be doing like
Well,
going in.
I don't
and-
like, I'm secretly always agoraphobic. And so I actually really like to be in my house.
Okay. Yep.
I love to give facials,
Yeah.
but like in general, I only go really 2 places. I don't go to a lot of, like, unless I have to. So
Agoraphobia is like
afraid to leave your house.
okay.
And so there was a time that I was agoraphobic and couldn't leave my house for like 3 months until I was properly drugged. And then I was able to start leaving again. So I always still have that a little bit.
Yeah,
So going
that's
places is
understandable.
still very difficult. I just can do it. But yeah, so I loved being in the house.
How old were you when that first like kicked in?
I think I had it close to 30.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe late 20s I had it for probably, I don't know, probably it took me a year until, because I couldn't get out of the house to get the medication. So finally, I think maybe a doctor prescribed me Xanax to get out of the house to get to the therapist.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went on medication for a while until I was like back to
That's so
normal-ish.
That's so part of like any sort of mental health. I have a lot of mental health that surrounds me, which is why it's become part of something I'm so interested in. And I've been in a position where I needed to help someone who couldn't help themselves.
Right.
And it's so difficult when you're in that state.
Oh, it was terrible.
The system is not set up to help you, and you just like people try and help you and they can't, and then you try and help yourself and
Yep.
you can't, and you just keep hitting walls, and it's the most defeating thing ever.
Yeah.
But good for you for being able to get out of it.
Yes, a lot of EMDR.
Oh my gosh, you're speaking my language
Yeah,
now.
yeah. That's what helped me. I actually really need to. If you know of anyone, I really need. My driving's gotten worse again.
I have someone who's amazing.
Oh, I
I
would
will send you
love
her
it.
information.
Please.
I've been seeing her for on and off for probably like 7 or 8 years, and I've referred her to a ton of
Oh, I
people in
need
the
it.
beauty industry.
I would love it. I'm gonna have my daughter do it.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's here in Toluca Lake, but she also does virtual, and doing EMDR with her was massive for my body image issues. I don't know why I have a hard time saying an eating disorder, because it feels like it like wasn't as big of an eating disorder as other eating disorders I was surrounded with.
Yep.
As you know, there's many of them,
Right.
and they're rampant. But anyways, helped me a lot with an eating disorder that I had, body image. I swear something shifted in me, and like I was just talking about this the other day, like I'm a little bit on the heavier side for myself right now, and I feel fine. Like I love
You're
my
gorgeous.
body.
You're
Thank
gorgeous.
you. But it's kind of like tapping at my door, kind of like, hey, like, did that growth really get there? Like, we're testing you.
Right.
But it feels really good to look back in retrospect and be like, my God, I would have like been consumed by this.
Yes.
And
Yeah. For sure.
it's a thought. I feel like, okay, all right, I'm noticing this. Like, my clothes fit a little uncomfortable, and I'm really protective of my wardrobe and like the things I pick. So I'm going to eat a little healthier. Like,
Right.
it just EMDR.
No,
like,
it's good.
Yeah.
I have to get my daughter needs to do it so bad.
I will send you her.
Yeah.
She is an angel. It's funny. When I first met her, I was very much so workaholic, a little bit more like materialistic, just very kind of unconsciously living. And I met her and I was like, this woman is just like, she's kind of like floaty and like ethereal. Like, I don't know if she's like serious enough for
Right.
me. And little did I know she was like who I was trying to become.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect. But
I need her.
it's nice to have someone in your back pocket like that. Like,
Yes.
I took like a year break, and then something happens and you can pick up the phone
Yep.
and pick up from where you left off, and they know the context and everything like that. But yeah, EMDR. Have you ever done parts work?
Mm-mm.
Parts is really interesting. I just started to like play with it with her as well. It's essentially just looking at like the different parts of yourself. So I was talking about marriage and trying to figure out what marriage meant to me, if I believe in the institution of marriage, if I want the government involved in my relationship, like all
Right.
these like different facets of marriage, historically what it meant. I don't know. It's just really in my head. And it was a really good theme for parts work, because it was like, well, part of me feels like this very like feminine, like I want to be taken care of, like I want this commitment. And then part of me is like this very progressive, like, no, I'm an independent woman. I
Right.
can take care of myself. I don't think I want
Right.
or need that. And part of me is like the little girl who watched, a very, we'll call it unsuccessful marriage in my
Right.
parents.
Right. Yep.
And that not be a good experience, and like it making me feel like stuck. And there's all these different parts. So they walk you through each part of yourself as it relates to the topic. And then you actually kind of tune in like you do with EMDR. You can actually use tapping with it
Yep.
into like a more meditative state, and you talk to those parts of yourselves and ask them questions.
I want that.
And it was really helpful around my anxiety, because my anxious self, separate from marriage, I did it around anxiety as well. And my anxious self was something that had been trying to protect me my entire life.
Right.
That was there for a reason,
Yep.
from childhood and all these things. And I just kind of set her free. And sometimes
Oh.
now when I meditate, I like imagine seeing her and kind of like releasing her, like to go play on the beach or whatever. And it's like helpful to like tune back into that part
Right.
of myself and like be like, hey, I recognize you're there. Thank you for being there, but like I don't need you.
Right.
It's
I
interesting.
need that.
I think you'd like it if you like EMDR.
I love EMDR.
It's I think it helps facilitate going a little bit deeper outside of just what's subconscious, because EMDR is pulling out what's like so
Yes,
subconscious.
for sure.
But yeah, when I did EMDR around the body image stuff, like memories from growing up being a dancer, things that I had forgotten about,
Yeah.
comments that people had made.
All the memories come up for sure.
So wild.
Yeah, it's very wild, but good.
Yeah, I couldn't advocate for it more, honestly.
It's like the best therapy I've had for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll send her to you.
Well, I'll be going.
We're always trying. I'm always trying to find something. Lately, I'm like, maybe I need to stop trying to heal myself.
No, I think we just keep doing it. We just keep healing.
I think that's kind of the goal, right? Otherwise,
Yep.
what are you really doing?
Yep, exactly.
I did once do a guided psilocybin experience with like a therapist, and my takeaway from that was that I need to stop pushing the healing. So it's kind of like, you know, you want to move forward, but you also want to live your life. You don't want to like push
Right.
it so much that things get so serious. And
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
do agree with that.
my theme lately has been trying to be more playful.
Sometimes some of the stuff is not necessarily something you have to completely always work on, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, because we get caught up in it, and then it takes the joy out of
Yeah.
life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. My sister came to me and she's like, I know you've been going through a lot of shit the last few years, but like you've lost that like playfulness about you
Right.
that I know that exists. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's been on my mind for a while. I'm getting back there.
Yeah, because it can get too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is why I love your sense of humor.
Try.
It's so refreshing. It's so good. Oh man, well thank you so much for
This was
coming
so
and
fun.
doing this.
I'll let you know how Sephora is when I pick her up today, or Michael picks her up.
And it's a baby girl too.
She's 5. She's 5 years old, and we're praying that she doesn't pee in the house.
Fingers crossed
Yeah,
for no pee
because that's usually not great for me.
No,
the
I
pee-pee
can't
in-
imagine it would be
Some
the best.
people are okay with the pee. I don't like the pee, so I'm hoping we don't have that.
This is the cut down for social.
Yeah. No pee. No pee. No wee pads. We just go outside and we go to the bathroom because we're chic.
Yeah.
We don't pee on the rug. Not the vintage rug. No.
Vintage
Sephora.
rug with a dog.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, can't have that. Yeah.
All right, I'm crossing my fingers for
Please.
you and for Sephora,
Yeah,
the puppy, the
yes.
dog, 555.
Yep.
I just always call all animals babies because they're my babies.
She is going to be my baby. I sense it. I think she's going to be so good.
How funny to you get on Sephora calls and you're just like,
I know. I said to them too, I was like, really, you had to name her that, so I have to keep her? Because I can't. I cannot have 4 dogs. Like, I can't even imagine.
I have my 3 cats and I want a 4th, and I'm like, I can't.
It's just like vet bills when something goes wrong. I had to
Yeah, just
replace
time, too.
Well, that too, but I had to replace both my dogs' like knees or something, and it was just like crazy, and it's so expensive, and he was on like drugs for weeks. It
Yeah.
was just like, it's too hard to have a million.
I feel you. Well, I appreciate you so much.
This was wonderful.
We'll film a little quick confessional moment. It's like the intro to every episode.
Okay.
But other than that, that went by.
We did
in a
it.
Snap. We're live from Melinda's living room. I was truly honored to have Shani on this podcast and so excited. She's just such a special person. I mean, I know I say that about all of my guests because I invite people on who I think are special. So they are all special, but you have these conversations with people and then you get to know them a little bit more and you're like, wow, like there's so much depth behind people and we go through our lives not really even tapping into that. And it's so interesting, like just day to day, you can like walk through a coffee shop or be in traffic driving down the street and you get pissed off at someone. But the moment that you actually interact with someone and open up a little bit, it's like all of a sudden the vulnerability creates empathy, creates connection, creates just a better life experience. Like, I wish we could have the Beauty Manifest talks everywhere, which I guess is kind of how I am. Also, how my mother was growing up. My mom would like literally become best friends with the bank, like people at the bank. And I would go in there and be like, oh my God, Melinda, your mom came in. She told us all about your dance competition. You're doing great. And I was just like, wait, what? And we didn't really live in that small of a town either. So she was just always like a blah of information. And I guess that's where I get it from. I've always been an open book. I would say an oversharer, but maybe it's not oversharing. Maybe to my point, this is how we all should be a little bit more open with one another and slow down. But I hope you liked this episode. I hope that you liked my goth moment because I'm feeling very dark and edgy this morning. And all of the things that you're supposed to say at the end of a podcast, like please leave a comment. Please hit that little bell so that you can get notifications when new episodes come on. And leave a review. I think that's something that is important as I'm learning. I told Brandon this morning that I just learned that I've been primarily using the wrong SD cards for my cameras. And it might have been impacting the quality of my footage. So, just learning every day, something new, doing my best. But, from the beginning, I felt like this podcast is about being real and about being raw and not about being perfect. So here I am in all the imperfections. Anyways, I will see you all next time.